Hi there, I'm Derm McDermott and you're watching Dukascopy TV today. Well, I have Ugo Panizza from the Graduate Institute back in the studio today to have a look at growth and debt. So Ugo, if we look at the Rogoff-Reinhart report, and this is something that has so much media exposure at the moment, what exactly does it expose and why is it so important?
A couple of years ago, Carmen Reinhardt and Kenneth Rogoff, who are two very famous economists from Harvard University, wrote a series of articles showing that when government debt surpasses 90% of GDP, economic growth slows down. Now, the two economists from Harvard were very careful in pointing out to all the caveats in their result and saying that this did not imply a causal effect and that the effect could be heterogeneous and so on and so forth. But the media and also some political actors who were in favor of austerity used this report as justification for tighter fiscal policy and basically said, look, we have two very famous economists who are telling us that when debt levels become too large, economic growth slow down, therefore we need to have a tighter fiscal policy now. So this result was very much used to justify policies. Recently, a few months ago, three economists from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst found out there was a couple of mistakes in the Reinhardt and Rogoff paper. They basically found out that there was a problem in the way in which Reinhardt and Rogoff computed average growth. They realized that they had inadvertently skipped a couple of countries, and they showed that if these mistakes were corrected, the result by Reinhardt and Rogoff was not as strong as the original result. And this caused a big media mess for basically two reasons. One reason why this caught the media attention because it was a little bit the fight of the little guy versus the big guy. So this was a graduate student from a fairly minor university sort of showing that two very well-known economists from Harvard University had made a mistake. So this caught the media attention, right? It's like, and the second reason why it really caught the media attention was exactly because the work by Reinhardt and Rogoff had been used to justify certain policies, and finding a mistake in this work also would point out that maybe these policies were not the right thing to do. And so this caused a huge mediatic debate. In my view, sort of the focus of the mediatic debate was not the right one. First of all, even after you correct the mistakes of Reinhardt and Rogoff, the result, if you believe in the result, it still stands. So it's not that this new paper by the economists at the University of Massachusetts really changed what Reinhardt and Rogoff found. And second, I think the debate focused on the wrong problem. The real problem is that the original exercise did not make much sense to start with. So it was an interesting fact to point out. So I'm not saying that what Reinhardt and Rogoff did was wrong. It was an interesting fact to point out, but by showing the two variables move together really doesn't show that one causes the other. So again, if I show you that there are a lot of sick people in a hospital, that doesn't show that going to the hospital makes you sick. So it was interesting to show this fact, but the fact that then the policymakers and the media used this fact to justify certain policies was the wrong thing. And this whole debate that sort of focused on this small mistake that Reinhardt and Rogoff made sort of distracted the attention to the real issue. Is that the real issue that looking at this type of correlation is more or less useless for deriving policy prescriptions. So in a sense, this is the background of the discussion.
So, if we go into in a little bit more further detail, what exactly is true and what does it reveal?
So there is one fact that is definitely true, that if you look at the pure correlation between level of debt and economic growth, you'll find that countries with higher level of debt have a slower GDP growth. That's a fact that has been established by everybody. What is less clear is whether there is a threshold effect, whether this growth slows down when debt is above 90% of GDP or not. What we seem to find that when debt goes up, growth tends to be slower, but there doesn't seem to be a magic threshold above which debt is particularly bad for growth. So that's true. So the negative relationship between debt and growth is true. What is not true, or what has not been proved, so what we don't know, is whether debt causes growth. So we know that these two things move together, but we really don't know if it's high debt that causes low growth, or whether it's the other way around, whether it's low growth that causes high debt. So these two things move together, but really the fact that the two things move together should not be used to formulate policy, because we don't really know what causes what.
So you don't think really in the future this is going to have any effect on the policy changes we're going to see from around the globe?
Well, I think that this big discussion, even though it focused on the wrong problem, not on the right problem, it put in questions this correlation, and now many more people are aware that there's a problem with this correlation. So nobody will be able to use the Reinhart and Rogoff result to say, we need austerity now. Mm-hmm. There might still be good reasons for having austerity now. I'm not saying there might be good or bad reasons, but this particular result will not, I don't think, will be used in the future. So that's sort of the silver lining of this all big media mess, which in my view focused on the wrong problem, not on the right problem.
And in terms of economic academia, what has this kind of revealed? Where does the future lie in this? And in terms of, I guess, young graduates and PhD students coming up, like looking at other reports, do you think it kind of opens doors for possibilities on examining and critiquing bigger reports and books and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. So there are two issues. One thing that we all learned. So the result of Carmen Reinhart and Ken Rogoff was never published in a referee journal. But it got so much impact because of the people who wrote it, because they're such prominent economists. Even though their results was not published in a peer-reviewed journal, people tend to believe in the results because these are actually very, very good economists. Have the highest respect for them. So maybe this will sort of, in the academic debate, will make us more careful in the future to say, even if a result has been written by two very prestigious economists, we should be careful in assessing the outcome of this result until it's been published in a fully peer-reviewed journal. The second thing, it shows that indeed there might be very high return in going against the tide and in double-checking what other people do. And also that maybe journals should be more careful when they publish things in making sure that the analysis is replicable, that all the data are available, so that the overall academic community can check what other people have done, because people can make mistakes fully in good faith. I think that whatever Reinhart and Rogoff did, they did it in full good faith, but still we're all human and we can make mistakes. Thank you very much, Ugo. Thank you. And thank you for watching Dukascopy TV today. Now do stay tuned for more interesting interviews and press views, but for now, goodbye.